In this video, I'm going to give you lots of tips and tricks for using your Kodak Charmera. I got mine a week ago. It is so much fun. I've been out and about every day shooting with it, and here's what I've learnt so far. First of all, let's take a look at what you get in the box. So along with the camera, you get a collector's card with the image of the camera that you got, which is fantastic. Turn it over and there's a quick start guide. So when you scan that, it'll bring up Kodak Rito's website, and there's a few resources here with a nice little guide here about how to use the camera. So I'm going to tell you some of the info that's in the manual, along with a lot of tips and tricks that I've discovered along the way. You also get a Charmera brochure, you get a charging cable, and of course you get a keychain. I put the keychain straight on my camera. Now when I'm out and about shooting, I actually put a finger through the keychain like this, just to make sure that I've got hold of the Charmera, because I wouldn't want to drop it and smash it or drop it in water or something like that. So that just gives me a bit of extra peace of mind that I'm taking care of my Charmera. Now the camera does come with a little bit of charge, but I'd recommend that you charge it fully before you go out shooting, just so you're not disappointed while you're out there taking photos. So when you plug it in to a power source or to your computer to charge, you'll hear it beep, and there's a little indicator light on top that glows up, and that should turn off by the time that it's finished charging. Now it can get a little bit warm when it's charging, so just keep an eye on that as well. So with the charging cable, it goes into the Charmera like this, and you can put the other end into your computer or laptop to charge, or a power bank, or also I've used like an iPhone power adapter, and you can charge your Charmera that way. You can also use the cable with your computer to download images, and when it comes up on the computer, it will come up with the name of the SD card. So I renamed my SD card Charmera, so I know exactly where my Charmera pics are. You can also take the micro SD card out of the Charmera, put it into an adapter, and put it into your computer. So I do that quite often with my Mac. The LCD is pretty good for something so small. You get a pretty good idea of your framing with the Charmera when you're looking on the back of the screen with that. It can be a little bit difficult to see in really bright light like we have here in Queensland, but to be honest, I find that with a lot of cameras, including my Ricoh GR3. The camera does have a viewfinder, however I find it kind of awkward putting it up to my eye because it is so small, so I just use the screen on the back of the camera. You can shoot one-handed with the Charmera. I was doing that while I was filming for this video. However, I do find it a little bit trickier. It is easier if you're using two hands while you're taking photos. And that's one thing you want to do when you're taking photos, and especially video. You have to try and keep as still as you can when you press that shutter button. When you're cycling through all the different modes and filters and frames of the camera, it's relatively easy to sort of see which one is on the back of the LCD screen, so you're making sure that you choose the right one for your subject. Now, if you're taking photos in rapid succession of the same subject with different frames or different filters, or even the same frame or filter, just be careful because the Charmera can get overwhelmed if you take too many photos in a row. A few times there when I was trying to take images of the same scene with all 12 different looks, it was actually kind of overwhelmed and the SD card icon kept blinking. So I actually had to take it a little bit slower and wait for it to catch up and write those photos to the micro SD card. So the Charmera does have a tiny little LED flash on the front of the camera. You can't control this anyway. The Charmera decides whether it needs to fire or not. When I first saw it, I thought, oh, this is not going to make any difference at all. However, when I shot a couple of pictures with it, look, it kind of did make a little bit of a difference. It's not like a normal flash from a disposable camera or a digicam or anything like that, but it was a little bit better than not having anything at all. If you are taking photos at night or in dark sort of situations, I'd actually suggest getting your subject near a light source or turning a light on. That's probably going to be better for you and your Charmera pics rather than relying on that tiny little LED flash. Now, just before we start talking about shooting video on the Charmera, just a reminder that I've already done 2 videos about the Charmera here on my channel. The first one was an unboxing where I unboxed a complete set of 6 Charmeras and I showed you what was in each one, and I talked a little bit about the camera. The second video was showing you the 12 different looks that you can get with the Charmera, the standard look, the 4 frames, and the 7 photo filters. So make sure you check them out if you haven't already. So this video now is being shot with the Kodak Charmera. I thought I'd show you this so you can see the difference between the Charmera and the Sony ZV-1 Mark II. There's quite a bit of a difference. The only tip I'd give you for shooting video with the Charmera is put the camera down somewhere. If you're walking around shooting video with the Charmera, it is a nightmare. The footage is so choppy, it gives me motion sickness. even when you're sort of holding the camera still, tiny minute movements can make the footage really bad. So I would suggest to you, if you want to shoot video, put it down on a wall or a ledge somewhere, and that's how you shoot video with this camera. Don't walk around with it because you'll probably feel sick when you look back at it. Here's some more footage of those beautiful swans at the beach having a nice drink there. I'm actually trying to hold the Charmera still, but as you can see I am failing. Even when I'm sitting on the ground here, it is a little bit shaky. The footage actually really reminds me of Super 8 footage, that kind of choppy kind of look. I do really like it. The only other thing to say is that for this footage here of the yellow dinghy, yeah, the sound was kind of overwhelmed by the sound of the wind. Of course, you're going to need a micro SD card for the Charmera, so it's pretty easy to load in. All you do is have the camera facing you, then have the contacts of the micro SD card facing downwards and towards the camera, and then we're just got to pop it in like this and it sort of snaps into place like that. So I have a 16 gigabyte SD card in my Kodak Charmera, and that's quite a lot of room really, because the photos on average are around 300 kilobytes, so they're pretty small compared to say photos that you'd take on a Ricoh GR3. The videos, of course, it just depends on how long the video is for. The longer the video, the more room it's going to take up. Let's turn it on. You press and hold the power button there for 3 seconds. It makes that cool noise, and when you first turn it on, it's going to ask you which mode you want it in. It's flashing there on the far left one, which is stills. You can choose video, and you can choose to set the date as well. So what we're going to do first, let's have a look at the date one. To select date, you press the play button down here, and you can choose whether you're going to put the date on the photo, on your videos, or on neither. And so how you do that is use the up and down buttons there, and then for each one you can press that play button and it will toggle the date on or off. Obviously if it's green there, the date's on, and if it's off, you won't have any date on. For choosing the date, setting the date, you go down one further and you can choose 3 different formats: year, month, day, day, month, year, or month, day, year. Because I'm in Australia, I've chosen the middle one, which is day, month, year. And then we'll go down to the bottom here to set dates. So on the set date screen, I've already got the correct date in there, but what you can do is you can go up or down, but it's the 2nd of October there, 2025, and the time is, 5:32. So that's all okay. Now I actually didn't know how to get out of this. I'm pressing this thinking, how do I actually get out of this screen? And after a while I realized you just press the power button quickly, and that will take you back to this previous screen, and you can see there, the date is set for photo and video, and the date we already set was correct. I'm going to press that again, that power button, and it's going to take us back to this main menu here. So then you can actually choose, let's choose stills, and we're shooting stills with the Kodak Charmera. You can actually see there on the left, there is a camera icon there saying that we're shooting stills, and the calendar icon is there telling us that we have the date on. On the top right, it says that the camera is in English. We've got an SD card in there, and it's also showing the battery is full. It's also showing the number of images that we can take with this SD card in, and it's showing, was it 54,000 images? So that's quite a lot of images it's showing. So when you choose the stills, it is automatically on the standard digital picture. But if you use this down button or the up button, you can cycle through all the different looks. So that's the warm tone, the cool tone, black and white, film frame, paint frame, icons frame, 1987 frame, red pixel filter, blue pixel filter, yellow pixel filter, grey pixel filter. So here are all 12 looks of the Kodak Charmera as demonstrated by my little in-house model, Marshall Dalmatian. He looks very cute and he was such a good boy as I cycled through all of these filters and frames, taking a picture with each one. Which one is your favourite? So the image quality of the Charmera is pretty much as expected. This is a 1.6 megapixel camera with a 1/4 inch CMOS sensor. So it gives a very early 2000s digicam kind of vibe. Get back to the main menu, just press the power button quickly again. And there you go, you can actually press that down. Let's select video. And the video options, there is no filters with the video options. So you can press these buttons here and nothing actually happens. To start a video, press the shutter button and you'll see there's a little red counter in the bottom left there, and in the right there's an icon flashing with an R above it. Press the shutter button again to stop filming. And if you want to see your photos and videos, you press the play button. There is my video there I just took. And here are some other nice photos I took outside. Now through the playback screen, if you want to delete any photos as you're looking through, you can actually do that. You can press and hold the play button for 2 seconds and it will give you the option to delete current, delete all. Look, I would actually be very careful if you use this. You don't want to delete all your masterpieces. I'd actually wait till you get back home and download all the photos first before you delete any. After all, we don't want to get rid of that beautiful photo of Marshall. Doesn't he look cute? So for any reason, if the camera is unresponsive and you don't know what's going on, there's an R with a little pinhole there. You can actually put a pin in there for a short time and it will actually reset the Charmera. Now if you do speak a language other than English, just follow the instructions in the quick start guide. So there you go, that is my guide to using the Kodak Charmera. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment below. If you have any questions, please drop them below as well. And make sure you check out those other 2 videos that I've already done about the Kodak Charmera, the unboxing video and the photos, filters and frames video showing you in much more detail all the different looks with plenty of sample photos. For just $30 US, look, I think it's a great buy. I think the collectability, the blind boxes, the retro design, all the frames and filters, I think it makes it super fun and I've really loved shooting with my Kodak Charmera. I will definitely take the Kodak Charmera with me on my travels just because it is so small and light and it's a lot of fun. Whereas some of my early 2000s digicams, you've got to carry some batteries with you and they're a little bit heavier. This is just so light and so fun, it's a no-brainer. See you next time. Cheerio. Bye-bye.